Morning, students. So students, we shall continue with yesterday's lecture with Japanese style of management, and as I've informed earlier that I'm going to also tell you some special features of Japanese style of management. So when this question is being asked to you, mention the features of Japanese style of management, or mention the characteristics. So you have to write this answer. Okay, these are your points to write the answer, and you have to elaborate it with examples. So your work is that you listen to this video and understand it, and secondly you have to do your own study as well, right? Because you're in BCom and you're going to do your graduate program, so you have to read a lot, you have to watch videos and find out some examples, examples of certain company. Like I mentioned so many companies yesterday, I showed a diagram as well. So you can mention like Maruti Suzuki company has so and so employee, certain examples. You have to do your work for that. Okay, so let us quickly begin with the features or characteristics of Japanese style of management, and it's an overview. Okay, so first thing, yesterday what we have done is these are three main features. Okay, that is lifetime employment, consensus decision making, quality circle. So you repeat that again during this question as well. Okay, whereas if you get an introduction part for the question, if you get an introduction part on Japanese style of management, then you have to give a little bit theory of styles of management, then you explain Japanese, then you explain these 3 points. But if the question comes about characteristics or features, then you explain all these points. The points noted down are below. Okay, so students, let us just quickly revise yesterday's points as well. Lifetime employment. So Japanese culture respects seniority, which was discussed yesterday, right? They value seniority. That is why they give lifetime employment. You know why? Because their culture respects the employees, respects seniority, and they feel that they're going to get return. In return, they're going to get loyalty from the employees. Okay, so therefore the culture of Japanese organization is to offer lifetime employment to the employees, and they don't believe, students, they do not believe in temporary placements, as it doesn't include loyalty among the employees towards the organization. So Japanese employee prefers to be with same organization, that is, they join and retire from the same organization. So that is their motive. They want to join. Once they join the organization, they're not going to leave it. It provides them security of employment, and it also builds a very close relationship between the employees and organization. Second point, that if you recollect what we have studied yesterday, consensus decision making. So conventionally a manager takes a decision, right? And it is followed by the lower level employees. But in Japanese management style, employees at the lower level are involved in decision making. That makes it such a unique style of management. Here they draft the proposal for required changes necessary, either due to faulty methods adopted or change in the environment. So then the superior goes to the proposal and gives acceptance if it is appropriate, right? So what they do here, the senior supervisor will check the proposals given by the lower level management. So therefore it is consensus decision making from the top level, mid level, and the low level. It's not bifurcated like how it is in Indian style of management, or American is totally different. But in Indian style of management, we have bifurcated, right, the levels of management. But regards to decision making, Japanese style of management has there is a certain kind of collaboration, right, with all the levels of management. Okay, so the third point is quality circle. If you remember this unique concept of Japanese style of management, that Japanese companies promote, or encourage the employees to unofficially make groups and sit and chat and discuss the problems or whatever they're facing, and find solution to their problems. So the concept of quality circle promotes initiative among the employees. Here the employees voluntarily make teams of 5 to 10 employees, and they show interest to do something good to the organization. So that is valued, students. Okay, of course they might chit chat, they might have fun for some time, but then yes, they the same like minds, they come together and they form some unique solutions. So that has been valued in Japanese companies. So what they do, they meet frequently to discuss on the issues related to their task performances, because they're given task, right? So they meet frequently to discuss the task performances, and then all the suggestions are put forward to as a proposal to the high level management. The superiors go through their suggestions, and if they are valid enough, then they accept. Otherwise given back for improvement. It helps workers participation in management. So students, I'm sure you'll learn it in further space, that participation is important. Like in my Zoom class also, you all participate, right? You all talk, you all made a meme, something funny, something, your interest, basically your interest. I'm checking your interest. Okay, similar way in Japanese companies as well, they check the interest of the employees, right? If they're following their rules and the regulations, that is separate, but they are on top of that, what they are adding more, that is what has been valued. So the next point, which is very important, is job rotation. And this is a very important skill. Students, I was reading a book, Robert T Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. If you don't have that book, please go and read that book. I'll find, if I can find the ebook of it. If I have, then I'll definitely forward it. Okay. So students, in that book also, he was an entrepreneur, right? Warren Buffett. And you know how good investor he is, and he's like a role model to the money makers. He's like the role model. Okay. So students, he encourages a lot of this concept of job rotation. When he wanted to become an entrepreneur, students, he worked. I'm talking about Warren Buffett. Okay. So when he wanted to become an entrepreneur, students, he worked previously in organizations, and he did job rotation that helped him to become an entrepreneur. You know why? Because entrepreneurs have to be good at everything. They have to be good at finance, they have to be good at marketing, they have to be good at each and every aspect an entrepreneur should be good at. And students, not only an entrepreneur, in fact every individual should have the knowledge at least of each and everything. We have to be alert, and we have to be knowledgeable of what things are there. What is this job? See students, like y'all are now commerce, right? And science students should also learn little bit of accounts. You know why? Because if you from the batch, from you, in fact, like take for example any student from you, become a chartered accountant, you will be at a better position to fool them, right? To fool the science background, any person. So therefore, even our education system is such that it should, I hope the national education policy that is going to come into effect, encourages this, because we need to have information about each and everything. If you have friends outside in foreign countries, you surely must have heard this, that they study each and everything. They have choice of selecting also, and they can study a little bit gist of everything. Okay. Now coming back to the topic, okay, job rotation. Now students, job rotation, as I was explaining all these examples to you, you must have noted that it helps to improve skills. That means if I'm in a sales department, I'm going to be moved after a few years into marketing department. You know what happens? Because students, if I'm telling you to eat same day same food, like for example, if you eat continuously in a month, continuously keep on eating chicken, then you're going to feel like little bit weird now, because it is a monotonous way of doing the same thing again and again. So similarly students, with regards to an organization as well, if you keep on doing the same work years and years after years, it feels like a monotonous work, and you tend to become lethargic with it, right? So for that reason, Japanese companies have started with job rotation. Why? Because it helps to improve skills, because an employee gets a wider exposure as they move from one job to other at different levels, right? So they get exposure, students, they get exposure to different things. This is new for me, I'm going to do this in this way, and then your mind works, so it goes on and on. So therefore, job rotation is a multi-skilling among employees. It's kind of a multi-skilling activity among employees. It helps to build confidence among them. So you can build confidence also by doing n number of things. Yeah, I can do this, I can do that. So therefore, and employees are also given an opportunity, of course after a few years, to for job rotation. But because it becomes essential, right? If you have decided in a Japanese company, if you have decided like from the beginning to the end till the retirement you're going to be with that company, then you have to know in and out about that company. And how you can know it? Through job rotation. Okay, let's move to the next point, that is collective group relationship. Collective group relationship is, in Japanese language, it's also known as omikoshi. That sounds a little funny, but then it really means a lot. Okay, so Japanese management believes in group efforts. Now I just wonder if you as a person ask this to yourself, that if you can really work with groups, then Japanese company is for you. You know why? Because Japanese management believes in group efforts, and they involve this, they call it esprit de corps. Why? Because they value or emphasize, give a lot of importance to team spirit. So that is collective group relationship. Next is loyalty towards organization. So students, employees take pride, to be associated with their company. So after you work for years, automatically it will become like my company. Similar, I'll just give you same examples. Like, you have studied previously in second higher secondary, right? So that after you studied for 2 years in the same higher secondary, then you call it as my higher secondary, right? It's my, I have studied, say for example, in Divyahar. So I'll say it like it's my school, right? So similarly, there is loyalty towards my school, na? That same connection won't be there with some other school. So similarly, with other organization as well, when an employee works for a certain period of time, for a lot of years, then there is certain kind of loyalty with the company. Okay. Okay, let's move to the next point, that is paternalistic approach. Students, paternalistic. I'm sure you've heard about this. Paternalistic or paternal. Paternal means fatherly, from the parental side, parental approach basically. So in Japanese management, students, employees in the organization work as a family, and they are seniors. Seniors are like their parents, who their culture is such that they believe that the seniors are like their parents, and they're taking care of the younger employees. So that is the meaning of paternalistic approach. So employer takes the responsibility. So employer takes the responsibility of the employees by giving a fatherly treatment. Fatherly means in a good way, of course. And how that means, you know how a father is, right? uh, they guide you, and they also shout at you. Similar way in Japanese companies as well, you have to respect the seniors, and you have to, value them as your, giving, like it's like a parental approach. So basically, how you behave with your parents. Similar way in a Japanese company, employees behave with their older people. It's not the same, students. In India also we have a little bit of this, right? Like for the seniors, we give little, we don't give little, we give respect to we give respect to our seniors, right? In Indian companies as well. Whereas in Japanese company, it is full of that. But in American companies, even they call their parents like their own names, no, with their own names. They call their bosses also, they don't call sir and all of that. They call with their names. If it's like Mr. John, so they'll call him Mr. John. They won't say sir or like that. So American style of management is different. So you need to understand the fact of Japanese and American and Indian. Okay. Next point is profit based compensation. Okay, compensation, students, is paid in exchange of service provided to the organization. Here the compensation is linked to the profits earned by the organization. Students, it is an attempt to involve employees to raise overall performance of the organization. How? Because they get compensated, right? So similarly, employees struggle to give their 100% efforts to increase the profitability, so that the income will also increase. So they believe in this fact that employees believe in the fact that if I'm giving full efforts for this organization, then this organization's profit will increase, and therefore my salary will also increase. Okay. Next point is seniority based union. So as discussed earlier, students, Japanese management respects seniority. Therefore number of years is considered for giving promotion to the employees. Okay. So there are seniority based unions, and there are company based unions as well. So the uniqueness of Japanese management is that employers support the employees for having the union. The unions are not industry wise but company wise. Students, in India, there are strikes done by unions, and but Japanese is not like that. They don't have industry unions. In unions are done for to have a strike, or if something's going bad, for that reason, to control all of that. So they then Indian companies, unions or industry unions, go for strikes if there is something done not according to them, right? So similarly in Japanese, not similarly, in Japanese companies, they respect the unions, and they provide, they look at they look at the unions at a positive way. So they have, remember this, they don't have industry unions, but Japanese company have company unions. Okay, so that's it for today's lecture, and these are the special features or characteristics of Japanese style of management, that is lifetime employment, consensus decision making, quality circle QCCS, job rotation, collective group relationship known as omikoshi, loyalty towards organization, paternalistic approach, profit based compensation, seniority based union, and company based union. That's it for today's lecture. See ya.